couldn't remember all these, so I'll just read them off to you guys. And I apologize for being late. I just got all these. Pierre with his neck this week will be questionable. Jimmy's going on IR. Gilliam's on IR. Solomon is going to be, most likely we're looking to try to get him back after the bye week. Should be about 2 to 3 weeks. DJ, don't expect him this week. K1, we'll try to get him back on the field for some practice this week. I think it'd be an outside chance for him. Brito will be questionable. He's got a mild MCL. Fusco will be the same as last week. Try to get him out there to practice towards the end of the week. He'll be very limited. Hopefully we'll get him by Sunday. And Staley just got back. Don't think we're going to have to IR. We're still looking into that, but definitely don't plan on having him until at least after the bye week. All right, go ahead, guys.
Make a bunch of moves here to get bodies that you can just put in there, at least for this one.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to make some moves, especially at the tackle position. We don't have those numbers on our team, so over the next 24 hours, we're going to have to work on this to fill out our roster, deciding on who can go on IR to know what roster spots are open, and the guys that aren't on IR, then deciding who we're going to have to let go to bring some guys up, possibly to get some guys out there.
Update on Trent Brown?
Don't have an update on him. I know he was doing better over the weekend. Hopefully he'll continue to progress this week. Really won't know for sure until Wednesday.
Starting left tackle right now is?
It's a good question. I'll have an answer for that in the next 24 hours, but I don't have that right now.
With Ward going on injured reserve, is Eric Reed staying put at linebacker, or do you consider moving him back?
We still got a few options. Today we just finished up all our stuff from yesterday. To be honest with you guys, right now I'd be leaning towards getting back a strong safety, and I'm getting Tart back there at free. But we'll discuss it over the next 24 hours.
How long was this update with your medical staff? I mean, how long did you have to sit across to take to go through all these tests?
Took some time. It was more than I've had to deal with. So there were a lot of guys to go through, and not all of it's just clear-cut answers either. So I got to talk and understand it as well as I possibly can. But it's more just trying to get an idea for how long things are going to be, because you got to make that decision. When guys are hurt, that's a tough thing. They can't play when they're hurt. But if they're not going to be out for a long period of time, you can't also sign other guys to replace them. They still count on your active roster. So trying to find out how serious some of the injuries are, how long they'll be out, guys like Joe and stuff like that, kind of limits what you can do until you know that for sure, whether you're going to have that roster spot.
Where are you with Ruben right now?
I hope Ruben will be ready this week. He was close last week. He was limited all week in practices. Felt pretty good about him on Friday. After that plane ride, when he woke up Saturday, he was having some back spasms, was very tight, and we worked him out before the game on Sunday, and you could just tell his body wasn't ready to go. I'm hoping he responds better this week. I was pretty optimistic about it last week, and it didn't work out, so I don't want to jump to conclusions on that. We'll see how this week goes, and hopefully it'll get better.
Issues you guys have on the offensive line, playing a rookie quarterback, how difficult is that for him?
It's difficult for any quarterback, rookie or not. You got so many guys on your roster, and all those guys are banged up. I got a lot of respect for some of the guys and how they handled it yesterday. By no means did. We were extremely disappointed with how the game went. But guys like Beatles and Magnuson, to come in and play positions they never played before, and just to help compete. Guys like Fusco, who I knew was struggling to stay in there, just to continue to stay in there so we didn't have to put a tight end on the O-line. They're guys that really showed it was important to them, and they worked very hard, and they gave us a chance to function, and I appreciate them for that.
No one's making excuses, but still, is that one of the more bizarre games you've been through in terms of so many guys going down in prominent roles?
It is for me personally. Yeah, I haven't been through that before. As a coordinator, or just calling plays and things like that, it was a little different.
How involved are you in, okay, now put this guy at left guard, now switch the other guy to this position, or is that your position coaches who are mostly making those decisions?
We talk about it all, but I depend on the guys who do it 24/7, all year round, and that's our two O-line coaches, and that's their profession. And I look at, it's not that I skip the O-line either. I watch the O-line a lot too, and we have discussions. It's stuff that you talk about all the time, and you got to be prepared for every scenario going into a game. There's been a number of games that we prepared for this scenario. It's never actually come to it. It did last week, and you trust your guys, and you got to put some of those people in spots that they haven't done before. But we didn't have too many mistakes, so you could tell that the guys have covered it, they worked at it. We'll be prepared again if it happens again this week.
You've gotten really beaten up the past 2 weeks. At it as a total fluke, or is it the function of having a young team, or is there anything reason?
I don't know. You'd have to ask God. I don't know the exact reasons it happens. That's we've been on the road 3 out of these last 4 weeks. Going against teams. 3 out of the last 4 games been against teams coming off bye weeks. I think we have been playing some competitive football games, and these last 2 haven't been that way. I think guys have been grinding. They've been battling, and the more you do that, the more tired your body gets. And that's not just us; that's the whole league. It's this time of year, and that's what I've dealt with every season. Sometimes your luck's worse than others. Right now, it hasn't been too great, but it's you got to deal with it. You got to embrace it, and you got to rise to the occasion.
Is 0-8 way do this team manifest in any way around this organization?
Yeah, I think if you don't address, of course it wears on you. Nobody wants to be 0-8. That's we're here to win, and so it is tough. And if you sit there and you think about those words and the record too much, and it'll affect you big time. But sitting and dwelling on that and worrying about your ego and things like that, it's not going to make you play better. It's not going to make you coach better. You got to check yourself once you start doing that. Well, we need to get a win, and thinking about the past is not going to help us get a win. So you got to move on. We had some good meetings today. Players hopefully will rest their bodies tomorrow, and we'll come back Wednesday and keep working how to get a win.
Obviously, when you took this job, you knew it was going to be a process. Was this ever something that you entertained the possibility of, that it could be 0-8, or that it was going to be kind of this low?
I mean, every year as a coach, you go into it knowing every year's a challenge. And I also go into every year pretty confident too. And I go pretty much go into every game confident. You're not always there on Monday. You're not always there on Tuesday. But after a week of preparation, after dealing with your players and stuff, I can't remember many Saturday nights or Sunday mornings that I haven't been very confident going into a game. Injuries are a part of it. You never know how they're going to be. I played against the 49ers last year at the end of the year. And I remember playing against them, and there being a lot of guys that were playing because of injuries too when I faced them. Felt pretty good about some of the changes we had made, and some of the stuff we had added to the roster. Went in pretty optimistic for this year, but I do think some of the same injuries have happened again. I think our roster looks a little different than how it started, and that's part of it. It's you want to keep adding to that depth, but teams. I've had years where you don't get anyone hurt, and I've had years where it seems like you get everyone hurt, and you hope that doesn't happen every year. And I know we're going through some stuff right now, and hopefully we get that out of the way.
In regards to your decision, what you're doing at safety with Eric Reed, Kowalski, is your belief in Adrian Colbert and what you think his capability to do the job, is that factor into the decision?
Not totally. We're just, again, trying to figure out the best way to get 11 guys on the field and what we think gives us the best chance to win. I thought Adrian stepped in and did a great job for us yesterday. Not getting to play that much, and came in there, didn't hesitate, and thought he did his job.
Dylan Witherspoon a starter now?
Yes. Yeah, I thought he played a pretty good game. He gave us a spark there, played good in his coverage, got us that interception, which I thought was a big play. And he gave up that go route the next series, which wasn't good enough, but I think Kelly can learn from him. I think he showed some good things to be excited about, and I hope he continues to get better.
Possible to evaluate Beathard really in a game where he was so constantly under siege?
Yeah, it's always possible. I mean, you can evaluate a lot of things. I'm not going to sit there and I think it was tough for him to have a real good game. I think it would have been tough for anyone to. And I think there was stuff that he struggled with. There's a few things he missed, especially early. The first third down, I thought Carlos had made a pretty good catch to catch that first one. I know the second one I thought Carlos should have caught. But there's a couple plays that CJ missed, like a lot of guys do. But I had a lot of respect how he battled in that game. He took a beating. A lot of guys didn't shy away from it. You can see it in guys' eyes on the sideline when you talk to them, when you're asking them what plays they want. I mean, I thought he got more aggressive as the game went, which some people would be the opposite. So, not by no means was everything perfect, but I believe in the guy as a person, and he showed that.
What do you do as a coach to maybe prevent a guy from maybe feeling gun shy or shying away from contact or getting rid of the ball too quickly in circumstances like that?
You got to balance it out. I mean, you got to you got to try to give him some success. You know, I think we called a number of screens in that game. And that's not necessarily to help him. It's more to take the pressure off some of the linemen and things like that and the way they were playing. But it's, you know, I think that's why that position's so hard. You know, you can try things as a coach, but really that's up to the player. You know, they got to sit in there. They got to handle a lot of that, and it's definitely not an easy job. That's why not many people can do it. And I mean, I keep saying, you know, by no means was he play great or anything, but he definitely shows innate toughness that gives him a chance to be successful.
Still feel Beathard gives the team the best chance to win, and if so, why?
Yeah, I do. You know, I think he gives us a chance to make some plays. I think when things aren't there or the protection breaks down, he has the ability to make plays with his legs. And, you know, I'm enjoying working with him, and I know we're going to go through some bumps in the road. But I do believe the more opportunities he gets out there, the better chance he has to improve, and the more he improves, the more our team will improve.
In your head, how many additional players you might have to add? 3, 4, something like that?
I really don't. You know, we're gonna have to look at, you know, our practice squad, how many people we can get up. You know, possibly bringing Ronnie back. You know, it's all going to depend on the number of IR people and how we balance our roster out. So I don't know right now.